What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mindful Behavior. I'm Raf. Now, before I get into this video, I have an extensive relationship with anxiety, almost an abusive relationship. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 ways on how you can recognize anxiety ASAP. Okay, number 1, get to know your peaceful state. Number 2 is once you get to know your peaceful state, you just rest and just chill in your peaceful state. Number 3, find out what takes you out of your peaceful state. Before I get into this video, I want you guys to go ahead and press that like button. All right, so let's jump right into it. Number 1, get to know your peaceful state. One way that you could do that is through meditation. And meditation is nothing more than you just sitting and just with no motive, noticing yourself. Notice that peaceful state that you are. And when you do that, you'll notice this stillness that's inside you. It's just chilling, you know what I mean? You're just there. And aside from meditation, when there's nothing distracting you in your environment and you're able to just be in a state of flow, you'll notice this restfulness that's in your gut and in your breathing. You know, there's no butterflies, like there's no nervousness. You know, a lot of people, you give me butterflies. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And notice when you're in this peaceful state, there's no fight or flight spike. And when you're in this chill mode, you're not at an anxious state. And notice when something startles you, like a bug or something, or maybe a sound, notice how it takes you out of your chill mode. When you are able to recognize that, you're able to see the patterns that causes you to come out of your chill mode. And then you might be able to just stop it in its tracks or before it leaves the station. The second way of recognizing your anxiety is chill in your peaceful state. You will be able to control what brings you out of your peaceful state. Once you're chilling in your peaceful state, prioritize your response. We know everybody got opinions. We feel some type of way about something, and yes, it's important, but let's not make it the first thing that we do. You know, when we get information or when we are in the presence of something that takes us out of our chill mode or that could possibly take us out of our chill mode, you have a choice. Let your initial response, no matter what is happening in front of you, be to stay in your chill mode. Stay as your true self. You got to continue to rest in that Zen mode, you know, chill. So when you get information, you don't react to it. You're able to digest it and respond accordingly without anxiety. Yeah, but this is definitely a skill. It's a particular choice that you have to make. It's a skill to be able to catch yourself before you react. And I don't think this is something you can master overnight because it taps into your deep programming, you know, your deep conditioning. And just to wrap up the second way, restraint and self-discipline are 2 practices that you can exercise, you know, when you're keeping your 2 cents to yourself. And the third way to help you guys out is to find out what takes you out of your peaceful state. Recognize what causes your anxiety. And I found that there's a few reasons why anxiety has crept into my life in the past and how it continued to creep up into my life in patterns and ways that I haven't experienced to prior. And don't get me wrong, I deflect me some anxiety triggers. Like I step away from all those anxieties. A lot of times I'm able to catch them before they happen. I do get that startled feeling inside of me and I'm able to take it down from there. But most of the time, I think that I'm able to steer away from things that creates anxiety. Compared to the old me now, I was way worse. And in my experience, in my life, on my path, anxiety has only happened when one of 3 of these things has occurred in my life. Number 1, I want to talk about a physical health condition. I've gotten the most sick I've ever been a few years back. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't even wish that on myself again. I can't go through that. I mean, I wouldn't want to go through that again. It would be very, very horrible to have to go through that again. And during this time, I would have bouts of anxiety that really weren't triggered by anything. They were just happening, and it was nothing, no reason why they were happening other than I was having issues in my gut. I could be just sitting there and would have an overwhelming experience of anxiety. And throughout that time, I would say about a good month of 3 to 5 panic attacks a day. You know what I mean? That could take a toll on somebody. I knew that it was uncontrollable because when I went to sleep, I would also wake up in a panic and it would just drain my energy. It would make me feel like I have no control. You know, it was bad. But anxiety filled that time for me. A physical health condition is one way of 3 ways that has been a cause of my anxiety. The second most common cause of my anxiety is deep-rooted beliefs. Sometimes we're programmed to react with anxiety. Like that's the default state for certain situations. For example, you as a child, your parents may get very anxious when hurricane season come around. And so it causes you to also feel anxious every time hurricane season come around. And that makes you feel kind of comfortable. It's kind of like a counterproductive way that you would be able to deal with that situation. It's your way of survival that you've known all your life. And so that programming would have to change. And that's hard to do because you may find some things about yourself that you didn't even know that were an issue or was the cause of your anxiety. These are very subtle, so they're hard to catch. So you got to do your work, your self-work, in order to really find out where's your programming. And the last cause of my anxiety is expectations. Expectations are tricky. An expectation can be a deep-rooted belief, but I want to just focus on expectations as it pertains to like the present moment. Pretty much, this is out of those 3, this is the one that you would probably have the most control over when it comes to a cause of your anxiety, because you can make a decision right there in that moment to kind of slice those expectations in half. And expectations are very tricky because it pulls on your self-image. And out of the 3 causes, expectations being the one you can most control, it requires you to desire something greater than your desires. You know what? Just for you, I'll do a video on expectations. Look out for that. For example, you may want to leave the house at a certain time just so you can get to your destination on time. There's nothing wrong with being punctual. But when expectations are sprinkled on top of it, it can get ugly. If your annoying son is holding you up and you have a little expectations to leave on time, you just might get a little anxious and say or do something that you might regret. That's all I have for you guys today. And if you found this content to be useful, press that like button, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell and be notified for my next video. Anyway, see y'all next time.